Are you starting?
Yeah, I'm starting.
Okay.
Jake, yeah, so here so far, you guys had opportunities, but just maybe getting to the 22 couldn't finish a little bit.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it sounds almost like the same speech I should have just recorded last year, you know, not your question, but the others. Yeah, it's the exact same as last year. You know, every time we get down there, we sort of shoot ourselves in the foot, you know. But, you know, again, I need everyone to understand it's... we've lost to them 7 times, 5 times have been in this ground. You know, so you look at their record against most teams, they're difficult to. I mean, even La Rochelle last week, difficult to win here. And we came within a couple of minutes of actually still trying to win the game, even though I thought probably the worst we've played this whole year in the first half. So yeah, the margins are like that, and I mean that is unfortunately how this game works. And as Stephen says, you know, it was a game where try disallowed, you know, breakaway nearly into their half, and then, you know, turnover. It could have gone either way. So, you know, it's I think it's 9 rounds. No, it's 9 or 8 rounds we played. 8 rounds we played, and we top of the South African teams. If you had said that before we started, you know, get to Christmas and be top of the South African teams, and, you know, only play 3 home games this year, I'm sure all the Bulls supporters and the coaches would have taken it, but it takes nothing away from the fact, Ashok, we really thought we could win this game because we've been playing well and we've trained well this week.
You did well to come back to 1917, but you mentioned the first half there, just the momentum. Every time there's a ruck penalty, then there's a break, then there's a more penalty, this and that. Do you feel some of the scores were a bit tricky there?
No, I thought...
Couldn't get momentum?
I don't think you're going to expect me to answer what I'm going to say now, but I was actually so happy with the TMO today. I thought the common sense today was spot on. You know, Gumedi's tackle, that's as legal as a tackle becomes. Harrod changed his body height, made head contact, yellow card. Foot on the line, you know. I'm happy that they found that angle. Sometimes we come here, they don't find that angle. So I can't moan about the calls. I mean, obviously there's certain things you always wish that the wheeling of the scrum in the first half looked the same as the wheeling of the scrum in the second half, and they were 2 different calls. But overall, you know, I don't think it was influenced by anyone other than the fact that we had our chances and we should have taken them.
Jake, just on the young guys, perfect experience for someone like Cameron. When he came on, what did you take out of this game for them in terms of making this happen?
Yeah, I must say, Cameron. I mean, I'll say this: he struggled a bit tonight. He's got a bit of his back went a bit of a spasm during the warm up. He didn't tell me, but you know, I think again he's definitely that's not as good as he can be. He's played better than that, and I thought Gumedi was outstanding. I thought for a guy who came in. You know, the role that he played, the carry out of his 22 to almost go, you know, almost we scored from there almost. The tackle he made, you know, to turn that ball over in the opposition 22, and just generally his work rate I thought was really good. So, you know, those are the 2 guys that you mentioned, but there were obviously all others that I think also, you know, are getting better and better. That's why I think we're so disappointed, because I genuinely thought the way we trained and the combinations we had, and the way we've been playing. With almost the same sort of pressure that's been coming, we probably didn't build on that enough tonight. I mean, we hardly had the ball in the first half, and that also played in the opposition hands because we couldn't build pressure.
Jake, I know I want to ask you about decision making, but first I want to say, I mean, given the emotion, people get, I mean, you're probably very disappointed.
Yes.
But talk to us about the quality of this game. I mean, I've seen some games of the World Cup, and in terms of intensity and pace, I mean, that was something special there tonight. Yeah,
no, it was. I mean, it was reminiscent of those old North-South derbies. And as I said, you know, drop kicks missing and tries being disallowed, and I mean, it had everything, you know. So, yeah, I'm disappointed because I wanted to win, and I'm disappointed because, you know, but I also, again, need to repeat myself. It's difficult to win, yeah. Away games generally, it's about 68% chance of winning your own home games. They've got an incredible record, yeah. And defensively, they're a hell of a difficult team to break down. I mean, we scored 3 tries today, and we could have scored 6. I mean, there's a lot of positives out of that, because not many teams come here and can almost score 6 tries against the Stormers. So, as I said, we got to regroup. We're having a Christmas break now. We don't play next week and the following week, so we've got a good time now to regroup. And you're right. I mean, it was a great game of rugby. Just sometimes, we on the wrong end of the result, but the tournament's not over. I mean, I think anyone will tell you, if you look back at the last couple of years, it's irrelevant, where you are now. It's where you're going to be when the playoffs come.
Yeah. I want to ask you about decision making, and sometimes it looks, and maybe it's experience. I don't know. I haven't ever played at this level, but if you look from the side, it just looks like that sometimes the guys almost panicked, or they just didn't make the.
Our guys. Yeah, especially at breakdown. If you look at that first penalty under the poles, we didn't need to go in there. Aldrich's penalty just after half time, that basically 6 points. Probably didn't need to go in there either, But it's one of those games. If you don't go in and you keep giving the ball to Marnie and those backs to keep running at you, well, then you have another question that you have to answer, So, I mean, that's the strength of the Stormers team, is that you either got to try and turn the ball over at breakdown, or you got to keep defending for phase after phase, and they step and they offload, which becomes even more difficult. So I think you're right. I think the decision making, if you're really critical, we can be a bit more accurate, but we're going to have to learn that it's one or the other, and if we're going to stay out, we're going to make sure we make our tackles, because Achieva stepped us too many times as well. So you give them the ball, Achieva steps you, and then they get gain line, and you're back to square one.
Last one from me. I know you say you're going to reassess and you're going to reevaluate yourself. Is there one thing right now that you would like to go look at in terms of your team that needs to improve? Yeah,
I suppose the only thing that I mentioned to them is I'd like them to have the same intensity and body language when we play Saracens and when we play the Stormers. That's the only thing. It's almost like I don't know if we do it purposefully. I just think we come here and we don't look like the same team. And I think the understanding of whatever you give off has an impact on the team that plays against you. So, that'll be the only thing that I think is that we have to look at as a group is, we can get up for Saracens and we can get up for the Sharks, even if they've got 9 Springboks. We've got to make sure that we're good enough and smart enough and aware enough of the fact that all those things you do in the game as well are important.
Yeah, Jake, the last time we sat here, you mentioned the fact that you would play with the X Factor.
Yes.
And then you went out and you did get those kind of players, and they performed really well there.
Yeah.
And I think you just answered that now. My question is really, why are they performed well, but when they come up against Stormers, is it perhaps a psychological?
Well, there's two things I want to explain. So I'm going to give everyone here a rugby lesson quickly. So X Factor doesn't mean a guy can sidestep and run. X Factor is he brings something that he's bloody good at into the game. So everyone's under this impression that only X Factor players are only guys that wear 10 and 15 and run and sidestep. That's not what I meant by X Factor. X Factor means that you're clever enough not to go into a breakdown, clever enough that when you carry, you get the ball back. X Factor about the fact that you have a body language that's a winner. That's all X Factors as well. So I think, just so everyone understands, it's not because now you bring in another backline player who can sidestep that therefore our X Factor contributions have improved. And that's, so tonight again, you just asked Jan, breakdown. That's the X Factor, You look at a guy like Dion today, he was outstanding, breaking through. I mean, no, he's not a sidestepper, and he's not a guy that, as I said, but he's bloody good at what he does, and that's the X Factor that you have. You've got to mark him. So that's the thing that I think we are better at that. And why against the Stormers? Because they're a good team. I mean, you sit here every week and you have coaches sitting here, and not many of them say, listen, it was nice to beat them. And that's part of what it's like to come here. So, all credit to them. We just got to make sure. I speak under correction, but I don't think our home record is too far off most of the other franchises.
You happy?
Jake?
No, sorry. Happy?
Yeah, it's just the fact that you guys played against the Stormers. All your previous games you did quite well.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't have as a good a season. So,
but
it's almost as if they also lift themselves.
yeah, well, I almost get that feeling they do, Even so do you do. I mean, there's all of a sudden there's reports and 27 pages and every newspaper's got a story and, so it's not only them that lift their game. I mean, the whole of the Cape media go crazy the week we come here. Last week you played La Rochelle, I couldn't find an article. So, it happens.
And you can see by the amount of people.
100%, But that's because you guys sell the game nicely. If you didn't sell it last week, you should be in trouble. You didn't do your jobs.
Jake, I just got a couple of questions.
Yep.
You said before this game wasn't personal for you.
Yeah, I said it again. You keep asking me the same question.
No, I'm saying.
Oh,
you said
okay.
It wasn't personal. Just adding what you said before this game. You said you were talking set piece today, and obviously looking for dominance up front. Do you feel that you guys did that today?
Yeah, if I'm really honest, I expected more from our scrum. Line-out was, I thought we put them really a lot under pressure. I mean, I haven't seen a hooker throw so many times to the front of the line-out with a prop. So, that tells you something. So, but, it's doesn't matter, whether we got it right or not, because the end result is we could have probably played better and should have, taken our chances in the 22.
Discipline in the first half, you guys consider 8 penalties in the first half, 16-10 half-time score, 4 penalties in the second half. I mean, what is the chat at half-time? Because it's almost did suffocate to the first half, and you guys brought up nicely with 4 penalties. Yeah,
so interesting stat, 8 in the first half, 6 in the first 22 minutes. I mean, you work it out, guys. You give any team 6 penalties in 22 minutes to start off a game, then, you put yourself behind the 8 ball. So it wasn't so much the 8, it was the significance of the 6 early on in the game. I mean, I repeat myself, they're a good team, they're good at home, they need a good start, they get a good start. You don't take your chances, you give them 6 penalties, it becomes tough. But credit, we're stuck in the game, and had it been, even the last play, boys, I'm telling you, there weren't many Stormers supporters that were thinking, we've won this game, because it could have happened anything. Kanan could have broken the line and gone and scored, and that's another thing I'm really proud of, because sometimes you would have kicked the ball out, taken the losing bonus point, and the Bulls carried on playing as if they wanted to win the game. Now imagine we turn that ball over, get 3 points against us, we don't get 1 point. There's a lot to be said for the fact that this team thought they could still win even out of their own in-goal area. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Jake, firstly there was a yellow card.
Yep.
You sacrificed Marco, World
Yes.
Cup winner, a guy that can slow down the breakdown. Just quickly from my side, what was the reasoning behind that? Because you kept 2 ball carriers.
Yeah, it's very, very simple. One is that you don't want to go into the breakdown when you've got 14 guys on the field, because you want to make sure they stay on their feet. So that was the one skill I probably didn't need. And the other one is the Stormers run from everywhere, and I probably needed Cameron and Elric's speed. Not that the one is slow, but I needed their speed. And also wanted to put pressure in their line-out, because I knew they could only throw to the front. So I wanted to make sure I leave the two tall guys at the back. But I'm giving you everything now.
No, that's exactly the thing. And then they kicked a lot, contestable in the beginning, I think, which was one of the massive success stories for the Stormers. What was your message to the guys who could clearly see the bombs was going up contesting with? Because if you think at your back three, you won a World Cup, so you won't think they would basically. No. So I think that was an interesting tactic.
They surprised me there. I mean, they surprised me, because I didn't think they were going to kick as much onto that back three, and then they won the ball back. Against 3 really good players. I mean, I think Villy, the numbers I'm not sure, but Villy knocked on 1 or 2, Kanan knocked on 1 or 2, Kirtley knocked on 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden that becomes open field play, and they're very good at it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm saying they did it well. I mean, they surprised me, and I don't say they didn't surprise me because they haven't done it. They surprised me because I didn't think they would do it against us. I mean, they've done it well against everybody. I thought they might be a little bit more hesitant to do it today.
Jake, sorry, you'll have to excuse me if this sounds like an idiotic question. It's just I'm a traditionalist and I'm not colourblind. So the colour of your jersey, I mean, the Blue Bulls have been the same colour since of all the franchises.
Yes.
Like way back into the 70s. And if I was a Bulls player, I'd always want to wear the light blue. And it's just like a good feel of mine. I mean, your off days often seem to coincide with when you're wearing white and pink. There's something in that, because when you play home, obviously you're in blue. And I mean, light blue, you just do look like the Blue Bulls. And
Geez, Gav, I hope that's the easiest thing to solve, because then I can maybe ask Sansa if we can play in blue all the time. But there's a theory about the blind people can't see him. We look like, we also had a couple of blind guys there today. So, it's ironic, because every time we do play in our jersey, and it's one of the things that Johan Rupert really enjoys, is the daisy and the light blue jersey, and it's something that, as an owner, him and Patrice Motsepe have spoken about. If you talk about Barcelona, that's their jersey. If you talk about Liverpool, that's their jersey, and everyone associates that brand with that jersey. And there's no doubt in my mind that the Blue Bulls or the Northern Transvaal team or whatever we were known as, that was synonymous to our brand, and we have played really well in that jersey. So I know I'm teasing, but yes, if I could get to play in that jersey all the time, we would.
If you give it, good, Nathan.
Just current attendance, I think I heard from someone just under 39.
39,957.
Yeah.
And then when you guys scored a try, there was a bit of allowed cheer when you guys scored points. I mean, just a reaction or feedback.
Yeah, I think let's not underestimate. A lot of the guys from the north have come down on holiday to Cape Town, so it is nice to. It's fantastic for the game, it's fantastic for the occasion, it's fantastic for the time of the year. It's just difficult. Maybe we got to ask, like Gavin says, white jerseys. Maybe we play in blue jerseys at Loftus next year on the 23rd and see what that looks like, So we'll see whether or not home ground advantage over Christmas. Because the reason it was done, and I'm sure you're all aware of it, it just makes logical sense financially that if you're going to play, you might as well play where everyone's on holiday. If we played at Loftus today, the chances are highly unlikely we get 39,000 people there. But I got to make sure that you guys write it down correctly. That's why 5 times here, and generally most times when it's holiday season, makes it bloody difficult to win here, and it's getting tougher and tougher. So who knows? Maybe we'll have to have a look and see how we can, maybe, as I said, make it a bit more equal. But all credit to the Stormers, they were fantastic. But there's a long way to go in this competition still, as you all can agree.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thanks guys.